Good evening, this is the Northern Sun Experience. I'm David Brown, and believe it or not, we're already in title mode. Despite the turnover to October just 1 week ago, the first part of the NSIC Golf Championships have already been completed. For both the men and the women, the title is split into two different parts, a fall stage and a spring stage. We'll start on the men's side, where 50 golfers look to get a head start on the competition at the Jewel in Lake City, Minnesota. This is Upper Iowa's Christian Archer sinking a long birdie putt. He finished the two-day event tied for 7th at 5 over par. Same hole, this is St. Cloud State's Jack Barnhart knocking it in. He completes the weekend one place ahead of Archer at 4 over par. Husky teammate Jack McClintock will knock it in here and preserve a two-stroke lead over his teammate, rounding out his two-day total at 2 over par. But the leaders after the fall stage were Winona State's Mitch Holm and Augustana's Tyler Jensvold. The Viking senior shot a course low 70 on day 1 with a 73 on day 2 to tie for the lead at 143, 1 over par. Augustana also has the team lead at 18 over par, 6 strokes ahead of St. Cloud State. Afterwards, Jensvold said he wasn't quite sure how he would fare on the fairways, but that a strong start propelled him to the lead.
I came into the tournament not really knowing how my ball was going. I didn't know where I was hitting the ball left or right, but I played really well. The front nine really helped. I shot 2 under both days on the front and kind of just hung in there on the back. So, I mean, I hit the ball really well. I hit a lot of greens and just made some putts every once in a while. Even with the wind and the cold, it was still a good test. You could score out there, you could make birdies, but you could make a couple big numbers. I made one today, but it was pretty fair, I'd say.
Meanwhile, just this past weekend, the women completed their fall championship rounds at the Classic at Madden's in Brainerd, Minnesota. This is Concordia junior Rachel Gray with the long putt for birdie, and she nails it. Gray finished her 2 rounds at 162, 18 over par. But this weekend belonged to Augustana freshman Sierra Langley. She matches Gray's long putt with one of her own. She was the only player to record rounds in the 70s on both days, finishing with 77 on day 1 and 78 on day 2. Her total of 155 has her 11 over par and 7 strokes ahead of Gray for the lead. Augustana also holds the team lead over Concordia by 18 strokes. Langley called it one of her best performances of the season.
You know, I thought I played really well. I was hitting the ball really well. I mean, just struggled a little bit with putting, but I definitely hit the ball a lot more solid.
Well, from the best on the course to the best on the court, the conference season rolls on in NSIC volleyball, and Minnesota Duluth sits squarely at the top. The Bulldogs have lost only once this season and remained undefeated in conference play heading into this past weekend, where their first showdown was at Winona State to take on the Warriors. First set, Ashley Hinch sets up Mariah Sharp for the kill. UMD takes that set 25-16. New set, same combo. Hinch sets up Sharp again for her second winning kill. Duluth wins that set 25-16 as well. But the Warriors would go toe-to-toe with the Bulldogs in the third set. McKenna Larson slams it with her left hand. Winona held a 24-23 lead, but UMD would come back as Winona's Taylor Gore hits it into the net. Bulldogs win set 3 30-28 and sweep the match 3-zip. And they would look to continue their winning ways at Upper Iowa. First set, Julie Rainey saves it for UMD, and Katie Ledwell brings the hammer down. Set point now, Ledwell serves it up, and the Peacocks just can't handle it. Bulldogs win 25-15. Third set now, Monica Turner will eventually get the kill, and UMD goes on to defeat Upper Iowa 3-1. Meanwhile, Concordia St. Paul hosted Bemidji State. This is the Beavers' Courtney Volkman with the quick kill, but the Golden Bears would snuff out any chance of an upset. Riley Hansen comes in off the right side for the kill, and later it's Heather Schiller whose kill attempt is too hot to handle for the Beavers. Concordia sweeps Bemidji State 3-0, and they have a big matchup at Minnesota Duluth this Saturday in a battle of the top 2 teams in the NSIC. Well, when we come back, we'll turn things over to football as the first week of interdivisional play begins. We'll tackle the North when we come back.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by CU Mortgage Direct LLC, Sanford Health, and Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. After 4 weeks of cross-divisional play, NSIC football teams finally got to play within their own ranks. We'll start in the north, where Minnesota Duluth remained the lone unbeaten team within the division. They took on Minnesota State Moorhead at home and got off to a running start. Austin Sikorsky is stopped one way but goes back the other for an 8-yard score. 2-point conversion makes it 8-0 UMD. And if it worked once, why not do it again? Sikorsky gets his second score of the day, and it's 15-0 Duluth. And then the Bulldogs get a little bit tricky. First, the onside kick falls into no man's land, and it's recovered by UMD in Dragon territory. A few plays later, Drew Bauer gives it to Nate Ricci on the jet sweep, but he pulls the entire defense to him and throws back to Bauer for the wide open score. 22-0 after the first quarter, and they weren't done. Bauer keeps it himself, heading right and cutting back just like Sikorsky did in the first quarter. 28-0 after this 24-yard scamper, and the Bulldogs top the Dragons 63-28. Staying in Minnesota, St. Cloud State visited Minnesota Crookston, tied at 24 in the third when Kenneth Walker gets down to the 1-yard line, and then quarterback Nate Meyer takes it in on the next play, 31-24 Huskies. Fourth quarter ground game continues to grind. Liddell White with the 6-yard score to make it 38-24. St. Cloud State would put it away just 3 minutes later as Walker gets in from 20 yards out. 45-24 is your final. The Golden Eagles from Crookston drop to 0-5. Well, it was Gypsy days in Aberdeen as Minot State visited Northern State. This is Wolves defensive lineman Cameron Pudwill barreling in like the old refrigerator William Perry. 1-yard score gives Northern an early 7-0 lead. Later in the first, Northern on the move again. Play action to the tight end Connor Doherty, 14-0 Wolves. Minot State would cut the lead in the second quarter. Zach Kuna, the fade to Porter Sturm, that cuts the lead to 14-7, but it would be as close as the Beavers would get. Later in the second, Jared Jacobson to Jared Hannigan, 25-yard touchdown, 21-7 Wolves at the break. And they would get much fancier in the second half. The flea flicker works to perfection as Jacobson and Hannigan hook up again, 65-yard score this time, and Northern State tops Minot State 42-14.
They were really trying to load the box on us, and we were able to take advantage of a couple matchups and just a few different plays here and there. We had the flea flicker trick play coming out of half, and so we were just able to take advantage of different things that they did.
Well, in the closest game of the day, Bemidji State visited U-Mary. No score in the first, Ben Jala finds LB Pope, 10-yard score, 7-0 Marauders. Second quarter now, 4th and goal for the Beavers. Jordan Hine takes it himself and just crosses the plane. We're tied at 7 at the break. Third quarter, the law firm gets its work. Jolliffe and Jolliffe, Ben hits his brother Nick, 18-yard strike, 14-7 U-Mary. We're tied at 14 now in the fourth, and Jolliffe is going back to Old Reliable. LB Pope, 37 yards, but the extra point was missed, so it's just 20-14. And that would prove to be the difference. Ryan Shields in at quarterback now, hits Jawan Richard, who scampers 57 yards down the field into the Marauder red zone. A few plays later, Shields finds Christian Lundy for the score. Bemidji State makes the extra point, and that would be the difference. They top the U-Mary Marauders 21-20. Well, when we come back, we'll head south for the rest of the football slate, where the surprise of the young season Upper Iowa tried to remain undefeated against Augustana.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by CU Mortgage Direct LLC, Sanford Health, and Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the University of Sioux Falls is doing its part to raise awareness for the cause. On Saturday, in conjunction with the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Cougar football team wore uniforms with pink numbers, which were later auctioned off. It's especially meaningful for one USF player, wide receiver Garrett Shutt.
When my mom had breast cancer, it was, a hard time for me, kind of a mama's boy, I guess you could say. But when she had cancer, the only thing that really got me out of the house was sports. And so kind of bringing the two together, it kind of means a lot to me. So it's kind of special how we're doing it.
From an awareness standpoint, it's incredibly important to have the guys rallying around in their hometown here in Sioux Falls. And then, of course, to raise funds through the silent auction. Those dollars will go right back to programs across the state to help low-income women receive the important breast health services they need.
My mom was awesome about it. She showed more strength than I did, and she really helped me get through it too, because I mean, it was scary for me. I was young. I didn't really know what was going on. I just knew my mom was sick, and the fact that, you know, she was strength, you show strength and be there for them and do whatever you can pretty much, and know that, you know, they're going to survive and they're going to get through this and you're going to help them through it.
It's just fantastic to see the guys out there supporting Susan G. Komen, and of course we're working year round, but to have this extra importance during October is, you know, just fantastic for us. As a statewide organization, it's just so great to have a football team like USF, who's known nationally to wear these pink uniforms. It brings about that awareness.
It's huge. I mean, having the support of all my brothers, all my teammates, you know, it's been awesome. I mean, we've been praying for my mom all the time when we had her scared and everything like that. And, you know, she came out okay. And you know, I write a little band on my arm sleeves every time, you know, to support the breast cancer, and the fact that we can even do it even louder this time is awesome, and just getting people aware is, you know, our #1 priority.
A great job by everyone at USF. Those pink jerseys were in action against Concordia St. Paul. This is Josh Angulo with some nifty moves on the screen pass to get in. 12-yard score. That makes it 10-3 coup at halftime. Second half, USF would take control. Nephi Garcia, the 9-yard pass from Luke Papillion to make it 17-3. It'd stay that way until the fourth quarter when the coup would put it out of reach. Angulo gets his second touchdown to make it 24-9, and then Garcia gets his second touchdown, 31-9 at that point, and USF remains undefeated, topping the Golden Bears 38-9. The other Sioux Falls team, Augustana, hoping to knock off unbeaten Upper Iowa. This is CJ Ham getting in from 11 yards out. The Vikings take an 8-3 lead. It's now 11-3 when the Peacocks give it to their workhorse. Chris Smith breaks a couple of tackles and takes it up the right sideline to pay dirt. 61-yard touchdown cuts the Augie lead to 11-10. Later in the second, Ham gets to work again, this time taking the screen pass 26 yards to the house. Vikings with an 18-10 lead at halftime. Second half, Peacocks fight back. Cole Jaskey to Lucas Hefty coming up large. 13-yard touchdown cuts the lead back to 18-16. Trey Hyde wasn't playing due to an injured shoulder, but backup Chase Marzo kept shooting himself in the foot. He's picked off by Chaz Holt in the end zone, one of Marzo's 6 interceptions on the evening. And the Peacocks would take advantage. Smith with another score, this one from 5 yards away, and Upper Iowa remains undefeated, going 5-0 with a 31-25 win over Augustana. Another undefeated team looking to stay on top was Minnesota State, hosting Southwest Minnesota State. Mavs already up 7-0 and looking for more. Connor Thomas gets in on the 3-yard run to increase the lead to 14-0. Later in the second, off-play action, Nick Piracini finds Kayvon Rudd from 17 yards out, 21-0 Mavs. But this would be the backbreaker. Off the punt, Austin Ryder evades one tackler, gets free to the right side, and keeps evading Mustang defenders all the way to the end zone. 67-yard punt return just before halftime. Minnesota State tops SMSU 56-14, and they are now 5-0 as well. Finally, Wayne State hosted Winona State for its homecoming contest. First quarter, Ryan Ludlow gets in from 2 yards out to give the Wildcats a 7-0 lead. Second quarter, now 13-0, Ludlow gets in again. Wayne State leads 20-0 at halftime. Third quarter, Wildcats keep their claws in the Warriors. Zach Osborne to Marcel Dunson, who evades a tackler on his way to the end zone. 27-0 at that point, and Wayne State defeats Winona State 27-7. Here's a look ahead to this weekend's football, and you'll see Winona State try to rebound against undefeated Minnesota State right here on Midco Sports Network. We'll be carrying the Warriors-Mavericks matchup live Thursday at 7 p.m. Then on Saturday, it's the Key to the City game in Sioux Falls as USF visits Augustana at 1 p.m. You can catch the tape-delayed replay of that game next Tuesday, October 14th at 9 p.m., once again right here on Midco Sports Network. Wayne State visits Concordia St. Paul, and Minnesota Duluth hopes to move to 6-0 at St. Cloud State. Minnesota Crookston visits Bemidji State. Northern State is at Minnesota State Moorhead. UMary hoping to rebound from its 1-point loss at winless Minot State. And Upper Iowa, the surprise of the young season, could move to 6-0 with a win over 1-4 Southwest Minnesota State, who is statistically the worst team in the South Division. Well, when we come back, our Under the Northern Sun feature showcases St. Cloud State, where student-athletes show off all the campus has to offer.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by CU Mortgage Direct LLC, Sanford Health, and Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. Well, as we do every week, it's time for Under the Northern Sun, where we spotlight one of our member schools. Tonight, it's St. Cloud State, which provides modern state-of-the-art facilities with plenty of academic opportunities.
Greetings from the campus of St. Cloud State University. My name is Michelle Cornell, and I'm a junior member on the Husky soccer team. Jordan, who you'll meet shortly, and I are showing off parts of our campus located here along the Mississippi River. Let's get started off right here at Husky Stadium. This past summer, we were very fortunate when new turf was installed at the stadium, which is home to the Huskies football and soccer teams, as well as many high school and community events. This provides an amazing game day setting along the river. Late in the fall, a dome is set up over the surface, which allows for year-round use of all of our athletic and recreation programs. And now it's time for you to meet Jordan, waiting over at the Miller Center.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm Jordan Poitras from the men's basketball team. The Miller Center is a state-of-the-art facility and is home to our library, learning resources, and information technology services. The building includes hundreds of computers, a high-tech auditorium, electronic classrooms, study rooms, a computer store, and coffee shop.
We have a phenomenal fitness center with a large range of equipment and machines that is offered to all students. Also, a great feature in this area is the rock climbing wall, which I always like to talk about. All of these are great spaces to utilize and stay active.
The Stewart Hall Broadcast Center is home to UTVS Sports and Husky Productions. A state-of-the-art broadcast facility, it is a training center that provides experiential learning in broadcast journalism. Student-produced programming includes live telecasts of Husky football and men's and women's basketball and a nightly newscast. Just down the hall from the broadcast center is KVSC, the campus radio station, and University Chronicle, the campus newspaper. They provide students with hands-on experience in electronic and print journalism.
The Integrated Science and Engineering Laboratory facility is the newest building on campus that promotes hands-on learning and advanced technology learning. One of the more interesting aspects of this building is the 3D printer.
Atwood Memorial Center is the hub of activity on the St. Cloud State campus. Recently renovated, it provides space for student organizations, programming, dining services, meeting rooms, and recreational activities. Every year, the university sponsors events designed to bring students together to celebrate our unique traditions, spirit, and culture. The Celebrate St. Cloud State program is a year-long series of athletics, art, and academic events designed by and for alumni, students, community members, and employees. Thank you for coming with us on our campus tour, and if you're looking for any more information, please visit our website at stcloudstate.edu.
When we come back, it's DBs Pics, my top 5 plays of the past week in the NSIC. You're watching the Northern Sun Experience.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by CU Mortgage Direct LLC, Sanford Health, and Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. Let's honor the best of the best with DBs Pics, my top 5 plays from the past week in the NSIC. At number 5, we have another great play from Upper Iowa, and it comes from Chris Smith. The Peacock tailback eludes a couple of Augie defenders en route to a 61-yard touchdown. Smith had another monster game for Upper Iowa, 147 yards and 2 scores as the Peacocks move to 5-0. 5 straight wins to start the season, and number 5 on my top 5 for this week. At number 4, we go to Augustana's Sierra Langley, who is yelling anything but 4 on the golf course. The freshman sensation is your leader after the fall rounds of the NSIC Women's Golf Championships. She was the only player to record rounds of 70 on both days of the fall stage. She'll carry a 7-stroke lead over her closest competitor heading into the spring, and it may soon be winter, but everyone will remember Langley's fall to the top of the leaderboard. At number 3, we head to Duluth, where Nate Ricci gets every MSU Moorhead defender to bite and finds a wide-open Drew Bauer on the jet sweep pass. Check it out again, no one even close to Bauer on the trick play. The Bulldogs put up 63 on the Dragons, and one part of those 63 ends up at number 3. For number 2, we have another trick play, this time from Northern State. The Wolves work the flea flicker to start the second half against Minot State as Jared Jacobson hits Jared Hannigan a 65-yard touchdown. Check it out one more time. The pass is a bit wobbly, but it still gets the job done. That was Hannigan's second of 3 touchdowns in Northern State's route on Gypsy Days, and for his efforts, he gets the second spot on my top 5. But for number 1, we go to Mankato, where Austin Ryder had as impressive a punt return as you'll ever see, evading tacklers, cutting back to the right side, breaking more tacklers inside Mustang territory, and eventually hitting the end zone. That 67-yard punt return gave Minnesota State a 35-0 lead just 24 seconds before halftime. The Mavericks would go on to win 56-14 over SMSU, and Austin Ryder rides into next week with the top play in the NSIC. Once again, a thank you to all NSIC member schools for contributing their time and video to make this show happen. For all of our schools and for Midcoast Sports Network, I'm David Brown. We'll see you next week on The Experience.